For some analysis on what is happening in Lebanon, I'm very pleased to welcome to the programme now Maha Yahya. She is the director of the Malcolm H. Kerr Carnegie Middle East Centre. Welcome to you. Thanks for talking to France 24.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We played a clip a little bit earlier on in the programme of Naim Qassem, who spoke earlier today, the deputy head of Hezbollah. I wonder what you made of his claims that the group is ready for this long conflict with Israel, despite the devastating attacks over the past week that have killed Hassan Nasrallah, and what you made of the fact that he didn't announce a replacement for Nasrallah during that speech.
Well, two things. One is, frankly, it was what I expected in terms of rhetoric. It's very difficult at this point for anybody who speaks after the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah to say anything different. They have to, boost the morale, boost the troops, say that we're still fine, we're still able to resist. We haven't lost it. We haven't lost everything as is being presented. Also, we will not disconnect from Gaza. At the end of the day, the Israelis announced that they targeted Hassan Nasrallah specifically because he would not go. He did not agree to dissociate between the Lebanon front and the Gaza front. So it's almost impossible for anyone who comes after Hassan Nasrallah, particularly Naim Qassem, to kind of pull back from that particular level. That's on the one hand. So the speech in that sense, I saw it more as a moral boost and to say that we're here. Now, are they ready in terms of if a ground invasion should happen? They probably are. We have no way of knowing how significantly, how much damage they've had, how much damage has been done to their military capacities. What we do know is that a large number of their members of Hezbollah, both the military arms and the political/civil arms, have been injured or killed. Beyond that, it's very hard to tell. I think the next few days will give us a better indication should there be a ground invasion. But they are probably ready at that front. In terms of the announcement of a replacement, my understanding is there are internal disagreements as to who should be replacing Hassan Nasrallah. In any case, whoever does replace him, Hassan Nasrallah, as far as the movement is concerned, but also the broader axis of resistance, left very big shoes to fill. It'll be very difficult to find someone who had that kind of a pull, that kind of charisma with his own constituents, not just in Lebanon, but far beyond Lebanon.
Indeed, and there are people out there who say, look, the killing of Nasrallah is such a significant moment, bigger than the killing of Osama bin Laden, bigger than the killing of Qasem Soleimani. Is it for you on that scale? Just give us a sense of the vacuum now left by the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah.
The man was iconic in so many ways. He was able to blend political leadership with military acumen and a kind of this religious halo. The fact that he lost his son while resisting Israel in an operation also added to this halo. So he was seen as a larger-than-life figure. He was, what he said, people believed. Many people remember the moment in 2006 during Israel's war on Lebanon, when during his speech he said, watch what's going to happen now, look at the sea, and there was an attack against an Israeli ship by Hezbollah. So there has been this, if you want, it's not a cult, but a kind of a build-up around him, around his persona, around his figure, and that will be very difficult to fill. Plus, as I said, he was able to bring together the religious background, the kind of cultural background, and blend it with both a political standing as well as a military understanding. It's also very difficult to find somebody with all of those qualities. So whoever comes after him will not have the same credibility and the same kind of pull with the broader Shia or Hezbollah population in Lebanon, but also I think far beyond. He had very personal relationships also with the Ansarullah, the Houthi movement in Yemen, with the Popular Mobilization Forces in Iraq, with many of the groups in Syria. So there was something very personal about him, I think, also that makes it a very big shoes to fill for Hezbollah, but more broadly for the axis, for the members of the axis of resistance. At the same time, many people in the Arab world have not forgiven him for his role in the conflict in Syria and in Syria in support of Bashar al-Assad. Hezbollah helped the forces of Bashar al-Assad to lay siege to many towns in Syria. They're responsible for many of the atrocities. So again, it's a very mixed legacy.
Yeah, he leaves a complex legacy, absolutely. There are questions, aren't there, now about Iran and how it might respond to the killing of Nasrallah. Over the weekend, the Iranian president saying that regional countries must stand together to confront Israel. Does that suggest to you there may be no imminent reaction from Tehran? Because there are people who believe effectively now Iran has abandoned Hezbollah in what is clearly a moment of need for the group.
I think, honestly, Iran, the messages coming out of Iran right now is that Iran is going to look out for Iran. Iran has no interest in a regional conflict. It would like to see Hezbollah save itself to some extent, but it's not about to jump into the fire on behalf of Hezbollah. All the messages we're hearing that are coming out of different parts of the Iranian security/political apparatus seem to be echoing the same line. More or less. I think there are divisions within Iran. I mean, it's not a monolithic society either. And within the decision-making apparatus, you have divisions also between those who want to go in and go all out and attack, help Hezbollah not only defend itself, but also attack Israel, and those who are saying, no, we need to be careful because this may drag us into a conflict that we really cannot afford. There are also serious concerns that the government of Benjamin Netanyahu is very emboldened by the fact that, one year of carnage in Gaza, it has been able to get away with. It has done what it has done in Lebanon, including targeting densely populated areas, and therefore that the next target will be Iran itself and possibly its nuclear weapons. There are already calls for that, including by the son of the former president of America, Jared Kushner.
Look, there are lots more questions I'd like to ask you. We don't have lots of time. I do want to ask you briefly about the Lebanese army and the Lebanese government. How big a role can and should they play in the coming days? It is worth reiterating, for example, that Lebanon doesn't have a president and hasn't done for some time.
I think they can play a big role. There's already been a call by the prime minister to, he's already announced that should a ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel be announced, and this is an agreement with the Speaker of Parliament, Nabih Berri, they would not have announced this had there not been at least some implicit agreement by Hezbollah towards this. That should there be a ceasefire, there would be an implementation of 1701. 1701 means the withdrawal of Hezbollah all the way back to Litani, behind Litani. And there's a commitment to send the Lebanese army immediately to the border areas in larger numbers, but also to convene parliament and elect a president immediately. If we are to go down that road, which I hope we do, for the sake of Lebanon and for the sake of the future, frankly, if we do go down that road, then there needs to be, the international community has to come in very quickly and provide significant support, to the Lebanese army to be able to increase its own numbers, but also in terms of to the Lebanese state, in terms of rebuilding what has been damaged. And the damage has been extensive across the south and the Bekaa.
Maha Yahya talking to us there. She's from the Malcolm H. Kerr Carnegie Middle East Center. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.